Hi guys, I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome back to Pure Crochets. On today's tutorial, we are creating this beautiful summer top. It's a very easy tutorial. It's an airy top, so easy to create, and it looks really beautiful. Trust me, you'll enjoy this tutorial. And this is how the front part looks. It's really easy, as I said prior. Kindly subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share your thoughts on the comment section. And I'm very thankful for all the immense support you've been showing me. It really gives me the urge to put more videos and more videos for all of us to keep slaying together. And I love to see all your beautiful projects once you tag me. So this is how the side and the armhole looks like, and this is part of the back. As you can see, it's a V neck. So let's get started with the tutorial. We are using 100% milk cotton yarn, and this is 50 grams. You can use any other type of yarn that you have. To crochet, you will need a 4.5 mm hook, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, a stitch marker, and most importantly, a darning needle. As I said earlier, we are using a 4.5 mm hook to crochet. So let's get started. To begin with, you're going to find the length of how long you want your shirt to be. That is from the shoulder all the way to where you want it to reach. As for me, mine is 28 inches on the front and back. So now I'm chaining as long as I want my top to be, and my top is 28 inches long, as I said earlier. That means I am going to chain 280 chains, and 280 chains includes the front panel and the back panel. Okay, so for the front panel, which is now what I'm chaining, is 140. So first chain the first 140, then you'll put a stitch marker like this to make you know this is the end of the front panel. Then you'll continue with the next 140 chains. Please, as you chain, make sure your chain falls on an even number. So your chains can be 100 chains, 200 chains, 110, 120. It must be an even number. And as I said, my work is 28 inches long. That's why I chained 120 first, then I put a stitch marker, then I'm now chaining another 120. Please note, we are working with 28 inches length, and we are working from the shoulder going downwards. So once you have that, you'll chain according to the length you want your work to reach. All right, so I am done with my chains, and this is how my work looks. So now we are going to start with the single crochets. Chain 1, and then you're going to go through all the chains that you made with a single crochet. Once you get to the stitch marker, remove the stitch marker and just do normal single crochets. Okay, so as you continue with normal single crochets, let me explain to you how we are going to work more on this top. Please take your hips measurements divided by 4, because we are going to work in 4 patches. Okay, or you can take your bust measurements. If you want your top to be smaller, take your bust measurements divided by 4. But for me, I took my hips measurement divided by 4 because I wanted a kind of baggy top. If you want a kind of baggy top, take your hips measurement divided by 4. If you want your top to be a bit tight on you, take your bust measurements divided by 4. All right, so once you divide your bust measurement by 4, you can now continue with this pattern. As we said, we are working with lengthwise. So do your single crochets first. I will meet you at the end of this. At the stitch marker, and as I said, once you get to the stitch marker, just remove the stitch markers and continue with normal rows of single crochets. This was just to mark and show you this is the end or the beginning of the front panel. So just continue with normal single crochets, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Please note what you are chaining now is a combination of the front panel and the back panel all together. Okay, so do the normal single crochets. I will meet you at the end of the row. Are at the end of our work, and this is how our work looks. So at the end here, chain 3, turn your work around, and now we are going to start working on our pattern. Okay, so chain 3 acts as a stitch. All right, so yarn over, go in the next stitch and do a double crochet like this. Skip this first stitch, go in this second one and do a double crochet like this. Let me just zoom in for more clarity. So after here, we are chaining 2, yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third stitch, go in with a double crochet like this, and in the next stitch, go in with another double crochet like this. Then chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches. On the third stitch, make a double crochet, yarn over, make another double crochet. Okay, so this is the pattern we're going to follow through like this. Make another double crochet, then chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, skip 2 stitches. On the third, make a double crochet. Please remember to yarn over first. I kind of forget sometimes, so I have to undo my work. So chain 2, make a double crochet, make another double crochet, chain 2, skip 2 stitches. On the third stitch, make a double crochet like this, another double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2. On the third stitch, make a double crochet, another double crochet, and then that is the pattern, and we are going to work like this across all the stitches that you have. As you know, I have 280 stitches, and we are going to work like this all the way to the end. And please note, keep in mind the number of stitches that you have. All right, you'll need a lot of not a lot, some counting at some point, so keep in mind the number of stitches that you have, and it's supposed to be an even number. But for now, I will meet you at the end of this row. I am at the end of my work, almost at the end of my work, and as I said, you need to always do an even number. So skip 2 and you'll have 2 stitches left. So do a double crochet, yarn over, go in the last stitch, do a double crochet again like this. So that is your last stitch. It should be a double crochet. To begin the next row, chain 3, yarn over, and please note chain 3 always counts as a stitch, and go to the next double crochet, do a double crochet like this, chain 2, 1, 2, then just skip all over and go to the next double crochet and do a double crochet like this. Sorry. So yarn over, do this double crochet like this, yarn over, do the next double crochet like this, then chain 2, yarn over, go in the next stitch and do a double crochet like this, yarn over, go in the next stitch, do a double crochet like this, chain 2, 1 2, go in the next stitch and do a double crochet like this, go in the next one, do a double crochet, chain 2, 1 2, go in the next stitch and do a double crochet, and go in the next, do a double crochet. So we are going to work like this until the end of your work. I will meet you at the end of this row. I am at the end of this row and yarn over, go in this last double crochet here and put a double crochet here, then yarn over and go on top of chain 3 and also do a double crochet on top of chain 3. Okay, that's how we close off the row, by putting a double crochet on top of chain 3, then you chain 3, 1 2 3, turn your work, and we are beginning the pattern all again. Yarn over, go in the next double crochet, do a double crochet, chain 3 always acts as a stitch, chain 2, yarn over, go in the next double crochet, do a double crochet, in the next double crochet do a double crochet, then chain 2, go in the next double crochet and do a double crochet. So we are going to work like this until the first quarter of your work. All right, so if you are chaining, you are making a big top like mine, which I used my hips measurements. My hips measurements is 40, so divide 40 by 4. Okay, 40 by 2 is 20. All right, so we are going to divide 40 4 times. That means I'll work with 5 5 5. All right, so I'm going to work like this until 5 inches of my work, and then I will meet you there. So take your biggest part of your body, divide it by 4. So you'll work the first quarter, then the second quarter, the third quarter, then the last quarter. I hope you understand this. Okay, so for me I did 40 by 4, so I'm first doing 5 inches. That is the length of how the width of this top. So when I hit 5 inches, I will come back and meet you again for something different, just a little different. Then again we will continue the pattern until the next quarter, which will now be half. All right, so first let's chain the first quarter of your work, and I will meet you once you're done. Done with the first quarter of my work, and as I said, it's 5 inches. So let's measure this just to be sure. Please make sure your work is quite accurate. So this is 5 inches. Okay, so I hope you're also on the first quarter of your work. All right, so here we're going to do something different. Once you're at the end here, we now go in with a row of single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work. I had already chained 1, turn your work around, and we're going in each stitch with a single crochet. So go in this first stitch here. Now we are not skipping any stitches, so chain 1, turn your work, go in this first stitch here with a single crochet like that. Then in the spaces, inside the spaces, we'll do 2 single crochets like this, and then the next single crochet is just do on top of a double crochet, do a single crochet like this. In the spaces, do 2 single crochets. In the double crochets, do 1 double crochet on each, 1, and then another double crochet, do a single crochet, do 2 single crochets in the spaces, and we are working like this until the end of the row. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of my work, and this is how my work looks. At the end here, we begin the pattern again. So chain 3. Now we are starting on the next quarter. Okay, so on top of chain 3, always remember to go in there with a single crochet 2. Okay, this is on top of chain 3. Go in there and do a single crochet like this. It might be a bit tricky, but just do it. And then to begin the new row, chain 3. This is the next quarter of your work. The single crochets marks the first quarter. So yarn over, skip this first stitch, start working on the next stitch here and put a double crochet. Please note chain 3 always acts as a stitch. Chain 2, yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches. On the third stitch, make a double crochet and make another double crochet like this. Chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, skip 2 stitches. On the third, go in with a double crochet, yarn over, go in with another double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, do a double crochet, skip 2, do a double crochet after skipping 2, and another double crochet. So it's the same pattern I've been working with, and we're going to work until another 5 inches. Okay, so 5 plus 5, that gives 10. Okay, so remember this one is, we are working from both sides, so it's, this work is both front panel and back panel. Okay, so I'll meet you in the next quarter once you're done with this. Please note we're using the same pattern until the next quarter, which is just chain 2, skip 2 and do 2 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, do 2 double crochets. It's the same pattern, and remember to chain 3 at the end of your work to begin a new row also. All right, so I'll meet you once you're done with your second quarter of your work. Okay, I'm done with my work and this is how it looks. I'm done with the second quarter, so this means we are halfway of our work. The front panel is 10 inches, the back panel is 10 inches, and now we want to create the neck area. To create the neck area, please, I hope you counted the starting point of your chains. Okay, for me, I started with 280 chains. That is from my shoulder area all the way to my thigh area is 280 chains. So 280 chains divided by 2 is 140. 140 minus 30, I get 110 chains. So for now, I'm just chaining up to 110 chains. Okay, and please note, when you finish your last quarter, it should end with also a row of single crochets. Okay, so after you end with the row of single crochets, take your total number of chains you had, divide by 2, then you minus 30. That's how you'll get the total number of single crochets you're going to do as the second row. The last row was single crochets, and also now I'm chaining 110 chains. So I will meet you when you're at your chains. For me, I'm doing 110 chains, so I'll see you when I'm there. Okay, to repeat again, take your total number of chains you had, divide by 2, minus 30. So this is how far I've worked, up to 110 chains. So once we get to your chains, we're now going to work our neck area, and for the neck area we're going to chain 60. 60 is for all sizes. So now I'm just going ahead to chain more 60 chains. After the single crochets, continue doing chains, which is 60 for all sizes, and then we will attach them, then continue with our work. I hope this is clear and is understandable. All right, so once you're done with the 60 chains, we will attach them on the 61st chain over here. So count 60 chains going down. All right, we are from here, this was where 110 reached. So from here, start counting 61, and we will join on the 61st chain. Okay, so let's just do it together. This is where I chained up to 110. So from here we will count 61 chains all the way. I've chained 60. On the 61st is where we join using a single crochet. I just put a stitch marker here. Okay, so join using a single crochets, then you'll continue with normal rows of single crochets all the way down. I am double checking my work just before I continue to make sure I have joined my work on the 61st chain. Otherwise your work will not be straight. So go ahead and double check before continuing with the row of single crochets. And I think I had count wrongly, so I'll just move my stitch marker to the 61st chain. So I have to move my stitch marker here. This is my 61st chain. I'd given it 2 more chains, so please double check your work always, and we're going to rejoin it here now. Okay, so once you rejoin your work like this using a single crochet, we are going to do normal single crochets across all the stitches left going downwards. Okay, so just go ahead in the other stitches and do normal single crochets. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, So this is how my work looks like, and I hope yours looks the same too. So again, we are going to do another row of single crochets. So chain one. Oopsie, I've already chained one, so I have to remove one. So chain one and do another row of single crochets. So this makes 3 rows of single crochets. We are doing single crochets all the way up. I'll meet you once we are where we join the 60 chains. So for now, just do single crochets until where you connected your 60 chains, and I'll meet you there. We're here, and this is how the work looks. Remember, this is the middle part. Now we want to do single crochets in these 60 chains that we did. I hope your chains are not tight, otherwise it's going to be hard for you. So go inside the 60 chains with a single crochet in each stitch all the way up. Once you finish the 60 chains, you continue with single crochets in the other part remaining, and I'll meet you at the end of your work. Okay. Okay, this is how my work looks. This is the neck area. As you can see, it's already put in place, and then the middle part now looks like this, and this is the side, and this is the other side. Okay, so now we continue with the pattern. This is now half of your work. We now continue with the 2 halves. So we do 5 inches again, then we do a row of single crochets, then we'll finish the other quarter, which is 5 inches. So now chain 3, and we continue with the same pattern that you have been working with. Yarn over, skip this first stitch, go in the second stitch and do a double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches. On the third stitch, make a double crochet. In the next stitch, also make a double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2. On the third, make a double crochet and another double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, yarn over, skip 2. On the third, make a double crochet and another double crochet. So this is the same pattern we've been working with, and we're going to work like this until the next 5 inches, which is my quarter of my size. So I will see you in your next quarter. Hey guys, I've worked all the way to the next quarter, and this is how far my work is coming. It's coming in well. So if we measure from this middle part to here, the end here should be 5 inches. Remember, I'm doing 5 inches because my hips measurement is 40, and I've divided 40 into quarters. All right, so this is 5 inches. So for those whose hips measurements are like 34, divide 34 by 4, so you'll know how many inches you'll be working with in quarters. So mine is 5, 5, 5 because I'm 40 inches. That is my hips measurements, okay? So this is the middle here was our first half. We've done the neck area. From the neck area, I've done my next quarter. So I want to do a row of single crochets here, then I will do my last quarter. You understand? So always finish your first quarter with a single crochet. So now we're just doing a row of single crochets, then again we'll begin the pattern and finish it up with the last quarter. So do single crochets, and please note inside the spaces we go in with 2 single crochets, then a single crochet on top of each double crochet stitch. All right, I'll meet you at the end of this row. So I am done with this row of single crochets. To begin a new row, we chain 3, and now I'm going to finalize on this top with my last 5 inches, which is chain 3, yarn over, go in the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 2, and we'll continue with the same pattern I've been working with and finish up your last quarter. I'll meet you at the end of your last quarter.